Greetings. Thank you so much, and welcome to Earground New Voices Amplified. My name is Plot Marco, and welcome to the platform that brings you all the important conversation about anything, everything creative. And today, we happen to be talking about the art of blogging. Yes, the art of business blogging, but also the business side of it. What are the opportunities? What are the challenges? What does it entail for somebody to have a blog? And can you just leave off blogging alone? I'm going to be joined by two amazing guests. Thandi, who is a blogger. She's currently in Nairobi, Kenya. And Brian, who is also a blogger and is working from Blau. And I'm based in Germany. My name is Plot Marco. I would like to introduce my guests, give them a chance to introduce themselves. I'll start off with Thandi.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. So my name is Thandi, or Lisa for those of you who know me more personally. And I go by Thandi_263 on socials, which is YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. And yeah, so I'm a blogger or Instagrammer, and I showcase my everyday life aesthetically on Instagram. And I just try to show people life through my lens on things that I experience, things that I see, places where I go. And yeah, so that's what I do. And more recently, I've turned into a photographer, a muse, you name it, So yeah, that's what I do. And I'm based in Kenya and Johannesburg. So yeah, thank you.
Okay, Brian, yes, you may go ahead.
Okay, my name is Brian Ncube. I'm based in Bulawayo. I'm a blogger with Ekasi Magazine. I'm known on social media as Brian Barak Ncube. Ekasi Magazine is a digital platform, online publication that focuses on young and upcoming from Ekasi, and also a platform that tries to tell positive stories from Ekasi, touching on various topics.
Wow, great. So let's talk a bit about blogging. But before I do that, I also introduce myself for the benefit of those that are watching. So my name is Plot Marco. I'm a journalist, trained journalist, but I've been doing a lot of blogging for the past 2 years. I run a startup platform called Earground. I know there's some that are also watching from other platforms. You're watching from Paper Big Africa, who are partners for this particular program, and an initiative called MON, which is a program that is being supported by the British Council that seeks to empower young creatives that are creating content. So I have a 2-year history of blogging on Facebook, on YouTube, and also writing articles. So that's pretty much about me. But if you want to find out more, I just look up Plot Marco on Facebook. So I'm just going to take a quick break, and then we're coming back, and then we're going to get straight into it and talk about the art of blogging. Stay tuned. Great. So welcome back, and thank you so much to those that are tuning in. Those that are joining us for the first time, I would say welcome to the program where we're going to be talking about blogging, the art of blogging. And I know this is something that a lot of people possibly will be asking, and they want to know, is there an industry? Is this something that somebody can actually do as a profession? And this is the sort of the first question that I'll pose. But before then, let's define blogging. So blogging is defined as refers to writing, photography, and other media that's self-published, that is self-published online. blogging started as an opportunity for individuals to write diary-style entries, but it has since been incorporated into websites for many businesses and also has become a profession. They're actually people that just blog for a living. To start the conversation, let's talk. Is blogging something that somebody can actually do for a living?
Definitely. I mean, I think we've seen a lot of people who just live off this thing, and to some extent, I think, especially here down south, well, not here, but like in Southern Africa, I think most people have found it difficult to believe that people are just living off this thing. People are just living off creating content, blogging, vlogging, whatever they may do, right? But it's definitely something that you can live off, and there's a lot of money. You just have to you just have to look for it and find it, but there's definitely a lot of money, because I mean brands want to be seen, and they need people that relate to them, so they'll obviously put a lot of money into that. So there's definitely a market in the blogging or vlogging space, and there's a lot of money, so yeah, you can definitely live off it.
Wow, Brian, Lisa says there's a lot of money. Is that your experience as well? Do you see blogging as something that somebody can actually do as a 9 to 5? How has been your experience?
Yes, when I started, it's more of pushing passion, but as I gained experience in it, then discovered a lot of ways of making money through blogging. So for me, at the moment, is my only source of income. So I believe, and through experience, I can attest that blogging can be a way of making out a living.
Wow. You talk about experiences there. Asikhulume, let's talk. What's required? What would you say? Because for me, I would say I've simply migrated from just being a journalist to also incorporating a lot of blogging. So the skills that I'm using, these are skills that I also got trained, but then I'm learning new skills online. Um, for somebody who's watching, like what would you say? Let's say if it is an open discussion, are some of the skills that
Oh,
somebody needs to be regarded or consider themselves as a blogger?
all right. I think the best thing is to start, because most of the time people procrastinate on things like blogging. But we have platforms like WordPress.com, Blogger.com that provide free blogging domains, so people can, or even if you don't have money to approach web developers for you to start your own blog, you can use these platforms first. But the most important thing is for you to build your content and build your audience, because we make our money mostly through platform takeovers for companies, SMEs mostly. They are the ones who are open for such, as well as affiliate marketing. So you need to have numbers on your blog, so that for you to sell yourself out there, because most of the people, most of these companies are looking for platforms, numbers where they can advertise their friends and stuff.
Wow, great. Lisa.
So I think Brian mentioned just getting started. I think that's a very big part of being a creative. I think because in most cases we find that we do have an imposter syndrome, and you just get off starting. You just get to start. Be it your YouTube channel, and you've got many reasons why something wouldn't work out, as opposed to that one reason why it would work out. So I think the point of just getting started, um, for me, I found that that's the most important thing. Just get started, put yourself out there, let people see you, and then brands will obviously see you because they're run by people, and then now you can start cashing in the money. But most importantly, start. I think for most visual creatives, also the biggest issue is, oh no, I don't have equipment. Oh, this, like, you've just got so many reasons why you're not starting. But I think first and foremost, just start. It's Instagram, have that picture. You know, we all start somewhere. Even the big names that we see now, the Mihlalis, they all started somewhere. And the other thing is just the passion. Don't do it for the money, do it because you love it. I think, like Brian said, he was pushing passion. So um, do it because you love it. Do it because you enjoy it. Because now we don't want to see people who look stressed while giving us content, you know. And I think most people don't realize that your content just speaks a lot to your audience as well. If you're going to give us half-baked content, or if you're not feeling the content, your content will communicate to us that no, this person was not in this thing when they were delivering. So I think the passion part and the getting started part is important.
Great. But I mean, Brian, what makes you decide that you're going to be blogging about this particular subject, as a blogger, or even for you, Lisa, like, how do you decide? What informs that decision?
Okay, I'll take
Um,
that. Oh, Brian, you can go
Okay.
ahead.
okay, Elisa, you can go ahead.
Oh, okay. So I think for me, I'm always of the notion that if I enjoy something, there's definitely somebody out there who's going to enjoy it as well. If I think something is beautiful, chances are I'm not the only one who thinks that thing is beautiful. So I think then that comes down to niching down, right? So I could decide that I want to be a travel vlogger or travel blogger or travel Instagrammer or whatever. Um, Chances I'm not the only one who loves traveling. So the way I should now curate my content is based on the people that would enjoy the stuff that I'm enjoying. So I think just niching down and finding out and um, finding your audience, knowing your audience, right? So now if I know my audience, then I know more or less how to package my content, not just now throwing stuff at people. So I think, yeah.
Great. Brian.
Okay. For me, I would say I'm one person who's highly opinionated. So I was always putting content out on Facebook, Instagram, most of the times, just on various topics. It's either it's politics, it's music, it's what. So then I got tired of writing for free, getting good reviews. Yes, you can write. I like your English, blah blah blah. So I think that's what inspired me to create a blog, and then I had to find something that I'm passionate about, so that I don't get tired of doing this. So that's why I had to take the art route, but not just numbers in the mainstream, like covering mainstream art, and be a force of change. Give platforms to these young and upcoming artists.
Wow, great. You know what? We share so many similarities there because what I did is I started writing about things that I'm interested about. So mainly music, the arts, and my conversations were revolving around that. So before I realized that I was actually blogging, I was just writing. I was writing the stuff that I loved, and like what you said there, I got to a point where I realized, oh, there's actually money in this. There's actually an economy that you can actually build around blogging. But you have to do stuff that you like the most before anybody else like it. And when you do something that you like, you are heavily invested in it. It's effortless. You make a bit of effort to actually get content and make that content more interesting. So I have been blogging for quite a long time, but officially I look at myself as like for 2 years. That's when I've actually been consistent and thoughtful about what I blog. And what you're saying, blogging about a specific subject that then also builds an audience. That leads me to my next question. How did you build that audience, getting people to start following your blog?
Okay. When we came in, I think we were a bit aggressive because we created a platforms on Instagram, Facebook. We have a website, and then we are mainly stronger on Facebook because we we are we took an aggressive approach and invited everyone that we knew to follow our page first before we even had much content. So I was using the artist that I was working with as well to try and lure more people into the blog. And then when we started putting up content, that's when we gained more traction as well. And as of today, I think we are standing at 18,000 followers.
Wow, wow. And how is the engagement rate? Because I've heard so many people talk about numbers, but when you look at the engagement, at times it's a bit low. Okay, so I've lost both Brian and Tandy there, but definitely they're joining in. They're fixing their connectivity. There's a question here from Sihlobo Bulala. She says, what's their writing process? Because as a blogger, I'm often faced with the writer's block. How do you generate? How do they generate their ideas and keep it written? I'll give you my own experience. So my writing process starts from an idea. There has to be something that creates or sparks that idea to say, okay, this is of interest, and then, okay, Brian has just joined us. Okay, so I was responding to one viewer was asking about the writing process, and then you can continue. So my writing process starts from an idea. I have to get an idea first. There has to be something that sparks an idea. And when that idea has been sparked, the idea somehow has to connect to interest. What will interest people? What will intrigue people? What will engage people? And what are some of the things that when you bring them out there, people are definitely going to be drawn. So just that alone kickstarts my writing. And when I write, I'm looking at writing from a perspective of a reader to say, when somebody is reading, are they going to be interested in this kind of writing or not? If my writing is not going to interest anybody, and then definitely my story is not worth it. So yeah, Brian, you can continue. Hi, Lisa.
Hi.
Thanks a lot for reading.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
So yeah, Brian was, you can continue.
Okay, you spoke of engagement.
Engagement, yes. I was asking you, how is your engagement, and how do you ensure that with the numbers that you're growing, you're also engaging?
Okay. So far, I would say I'm not impressed with our engagement, but our outreach, the outreach that we have an outreach of 10,000 people weekly. And then on engagement, our numbers are very low at the moment, but we are slowly building that and more people are coming in. I think what affected engagement mostly was lack of activity. We went quiet for some time. I think I'll touch on that going forward on the motivation and stuff. But there was a time when we weren't doing anything and we lost a lot of people that were regular visitors to our platform.
Oh, great. Lisa, engagement in terms of your reach. Brian was talking about numbers there. How is your engagement like?
I mean, as Brian said, if you put out content, you will have people engaging. If you don't, they also, they've got nothing to engage over. But so then that's where consistency comes in, So the more consistent, I find it with myself as well. The more consistent I am, the more people are interested, and people are like, okay, so what's next? What is she putting out next? And also just collaboration with other creators as well. And unfortunately, you don't live in your bubble. You don't live in your own life.
We're losing your audio. I don't know what's happening. Can you hear me?
What's going on? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, but the audio was is a bit
Oh, I'm not here.
unclear.
I don't know what's going
Yes, maybe try to leave and then
on.
come back. Yes, great. So there's a comment here. Was to wait for this comment that says, if you put out quality content, people will definitely consume, and I totally agree with that. I remember my first experience. I went live and I was doing the first live broadcast. There were no people watching. And then 1, 2 friends joined in the white. And then I could see numbers dropping from 1 to 3, 4. And I think that was the moment where I felt so discouraged. Like, oh, you know what? Nobody's interested in my topic. Maybe I'm not even a good communicator. And but then I was actually not even a better communicator as I am. Maybe now I've improved, you know. But like what Mtabis is saying, quality is always key, you know. I created the consistency and made sure that my content is a bit of quality so that when people are watching it, they get a feel of something that is worth watching. Was there any moment where you felt like, okay, I think this thing, let it pass?
Please come again. I didn't get the last part.
Now, I was saying, when you started off blogging, was there any moment where you felt like, okay, look, I think I'm just going to leave this thing?
Yes. There are some times where you are discouraged, especially maybe, let me say, by the people that you are helping to push in terms of publicity, putting their work out there. You would expect them to share what you write about them, and they just don't do that. You know, I think it demotivates at times, and maybe sometimes you experience writer's block. You can't put out content even if you try it. You know, it goes. People, you know, if there is nothing that is coming in, you lose a lot of followers there. So I think balancing it is key.
You talk about appreciation from people that you write about. I think I can share similar experiences where I've written, especially in the early days. I would write about artists, I would write about people, but they would not show any love back. They would not even share. So I'll let Lisa continue, and then we take it up from there. Lisa, you can continue. Hi, can you hear me, Lisa? Yes, you can go
I
ahead.
can hear you guys, but it's still a bit fuzzy.
Okay. Yeah, you can try. Let's see. But I think we can hear you.
Okay, wait, what was the question?
Okay. We were talking about engagement.
Oh,
How do you
but can you guys hear me
ensure?
clearly? Oh, can you guys hear me clearly? It's still
Yes.
fuzzy.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. So I was asking, how do you manage your engagement with people that are following your platform?
Okay, so I was saying that collaboration with other creatives as well. I mean, for the fact that they're creative, it means they have an audience, and you never know that whether their audience might like your stuff or not. But you never know until you try. So definitely collaboration, and also consistency. Not necessarily consistency in terms of quantity, but in terms of quality as well. So, for example, with myself, I would not put out a picture where the quality is according to my standards, right? So, and also my audience should know that as well, that Tali wouldn't just put out a picture on G&G, but she's looked at this detail. There's people, my friends also just double check and see, oh, okay, no friend, your eyelashes falling apart this side, or so consistency in terms of quality and in terms of content as well, and collaboration will definitely help increase engagement. And also engaging on other people's work. You mustn't always be the one taking, but also engage on other creatives' work and just ordinary people as well. So I think, yeah.
Great. Brian was talking about an experience where you would blog about other people, but apparently those people would not show any love back. They would never tweet, report, or share, or even react. Have you ever experienced that?
So I think what we do have to take into consideration is some people just put work out there they're not necessarily looking for engagement or anything. They're just putting out stuff there just to show us either their pictures or whatever, So I think I've learned, at first I was a bit overly sensitive over the fact that I'd go comment on somebody's stuff or engage on somebody's stuff and the person would just act as if nothing happened. It's just vibes, So I think we have to be, I won't say open-minded, but a bit open to the idea that you won't always get the same reaction from people that you give out. So, I mean, it's the world. You're not money. Not everyone's going to like you or the stuff that you give out. So, I think we should be open to the fact that, hey, it happens. And just because you appreciate their work doesn't mean they're going to appreciate your work as well, So, I think it's a bitter pill to swallow, but I think we have to come to terms with that.
Wow, that is quite interesting. I think it brings me to one point, trolling. When people give you negative energy or they really come after you. Have you ever experienced that? And if so, how did you manage to deal with that? I've seen some saying, it's fine to backlash. Some saying, no, you just cannot clap back on people. But there are obviously ghost accounts of people that can easily come after you as a blogger and just send or write stuff that can actually be very insulting. What has been your experience, Brian?
Okay, please come again. I didn't get you.
Okay. So I was asking in terms of trolling online. Have you ever experienced that? Okay. So maybe Lisa, you can take it up. I was asking about trolling, playback, and.
I'm not sure if it's like my side only, but there's like a bit of fuzziness in terms of the sound.
In terms of the sound. Okay. So for those that are watching, stay tuned. We're just gonna try and fix our sound, and then we're coming back just now. How is the sound now? Hi, Lisa, can you hear me? Okay, so whilst we try to connect to both Lisa and Brian, Brian is back with us. So Brian, can you hear us? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great. So I was asking earlier on, how do you deal with a situation where people insult you or say some things that are not really nice online? Have you ever experienced that, and how do you handle such?
Where people are what?
Where people are trolling or insulting or just giving very, very unpleasant comments or feedback, be it to your content, to whatever that you're engaging.
Okay, I've never experienced something like that for now, but we once posted about an artist from Botswana, and we got a backlash out of it. What we're doing is not okay because there are a lot of people locally that want that kind of coverage, and not giving it to people who are already being covered by many media houses in their own country. But I think what people didn't really understand is art is international, and us engaging with those artists gives our own artists more platforms, because if I think they can get a feature out of it if those big artists are following our page and they see their content there. So I think it's something that people really need to understand, that you can't localize art. Art is international. So we'll continue to cover both local and those international artists that would want us to cover, because it builds relationship between the artists themselves.
Wow. I'm just going to say something with regard to that. A very personal experience, very recent. We made one post on DJ Khaled that went so viral that it gave us 10,000 new followers within a space of 6 days, right? So that's when I realized that, as much as you can always focus on local, our focus is local, like with 80% local policy. The 20% at times that we bring in from elsewhere gives us, a big attraction. And then it also helps the local artists get seen in other spaces where, ordinarily they would not be getting much traction. So yeah, I thought maybe let me just respond there. But Lisa, your experience with trolling.
Oh, okay. Can you guys hear me? So I think in my
Yes,
experience, I try and stay away from all that, from like trolling people, or I don't think I like having that much attention on me. So I try by all means. Maybe on Twitter sometimes you might find me, saying some weird stuff, but I really, really do try, because also ultimately it's my personality out there, and it's my career out there. So for me, while I know that as a creative you will always be judged, or even just judging yourself, or just, so for me I try my best not to get into those situations. I did have a little small nyana experience during lockdown, where a content creator stole somebody's content, right? And so I just seen the original post, and then I saw somebody steal the post. And for me, I was like, no ways. It's lockdown. People are working so hard to give out content, and you cannot just go steal somebody's content and put it out there. So I went and I commented under this girl's post, and I was like, sis, please at least credit the person who put out this the original post, And yeah, it sort of became a thing. It wasn't so big, but I think sometimes it's necessary just to speak out on behalf of other people. But in terms of trolling, I try my best not to. But then again, there's no such thing as bad publicity. So yeah.
Wow. Quite interesting there, because with a lot of my blogging, it involves speaking out so many times, just talking about things to do with artists' rights and stuff. And it has got me in trouble so many times. But I think what has encouraged me over the years is being able to speak out about certain things and seeing a change happening. There was recently an issue of the copyrights for artists, and then, there's always stuff coming up, and at times pointing out some of these things has helped some artists actually get recourse, and the narrative even going national, on other platforms, people catching up with it, mainstream media, radio, TV, newspapers, which is a plus, but also a reference, when people, give credit and say, like what you're saying there, that they use your content and they make reference that we got this content from this particular platform. And almost like every week we have a story that gets credited on another platform. For us, that's a measure of success, and it encourages me. I used to get worried at some point, somebody's taking my content, but as long as they credit, I feel, it's actually good for the growth because somebody's acknowledging where the content is coming from. let's talk about the money, the business side of blogging. We're going to talk a bit about copyrights and stuff, but where exactly is the money? I don't know who wants to start, because I was talking to somebody in Zim and they're saying, oh, you know what, blogging is overrated. There's no real money. There's no money. You know, you work, you're always online, you're using a lot of data. But to really make money, possibly when you have huge numbers, that's when people value that. But people are not placing value at what bloggers are doing. They think you're doing it for fun and you have nothing else to do. But for you, where is the money? Yeah, Brian, okay.
Okay, can I go ahead?
Yeah, you can.
Right. I think for me, I'll talk on personal experiences. The money is in platform takeovers. That's us approaching SMEs, small and medium enterprises mostly, and create social media platforms for them where they can advertise their things, because most of the people at the moment don't understand and appreciate the of online marketing, especially Facebook, having paid adverts and stuff. Most of the people are still getting hang of it, and we have made headway in some of the companies. So we are creating content for them and engaging with their customers on day-to-day basis. So I think that's the first and easier route to get an income to keep the blogs going.
Oh, great. Lisa, where's the money?
I think your first question was, where's the money? I, so if a brand comes to you and says, can you do this for us? The fact that they came to you, it means they see value in the work that you're putting out. And that's where the money is, in your work, first of all. And then in terms of the pockets, trust me, brands have so much money. It's just a matter of you negotiating with brands and being like, hey, look, this is how I value my work. And it's either you take it or leave it. And it's also just negotiating, and another thing I think is just putting yourself out there and talking to these brands. Right now, there's a lot of people who, I think brand managers, we hear brand managers saying there's so many proposals that I'm getting in my emails, right? So as a creative, I need to show these brands why they need me to do something for them, or show them what you can do for them that they didn't even know they needed, and that's how you get your money. But ultimately, the bottom line is brands will always have money because they need to be household names. They need to put themselves out there. So brands will always have money. So don't be afraid to approach them. Go and ask them for money, and convince them that your work is valuable to them, to their brand. Yeah.
Wow, great. Brands always have money. Convince them that the work is worth, so that they pay for it. For us, our money is coming from corporates. It's coming from a couple of institutions that we collaborate with. We always find ways to collaborate. Artists, I would say maybe they contribute about 5% of our income, but at most artists, they literally don't have the money, most of them, but they have the talent, they have the art, and some of them are still able to appreciate the need to pay for content marketing. So it's still a bit of a struggle with artists, but much of our content is creative content, because this is content that also brings in the traction, the audience and the following, and then we use that audience to then build on value, right? And in terms of content ownership, copyrights, have you ever had any of your content stolen or you see it appearing elsewhere with a different caption, and somebody claiming that they own the content. Yeah, you can go ahead, Lisa.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. I'm sorry.
No, I was asking, have you ever had any of your content stolen or, inappropriately used elsewhere without you getting credited?
Well, I'm not sure if it's my network but I think what your question was have I ever had a situation where my content was used without credit or something like that? Okay.
Yes.
So
you have ever had such?
I had, for me, I didn't take it as a big thing, but when I consulted with my family, my team, they like, maybe you should fight this. So I did some work with the brand, and in the contract, we had the terms of how long they would use my content, what content they would use, and so the works, just the integrities of the contract, and okay, so I was working with a middleman, right? So somebody who would find content creators for this brand. So fine, we do that thing, it's chilled, I get money, I'm happy, and I'm thinking, okay, we're done.
And the audio seems to be getting
somehow,
much more.
thank God for Instagram ads. I see an ad by this intermediate, by this middleman.
So we
right? And they've used one of the pictures and the advertising.
Okay, stage. Could you pause a bit? Apparently, we've lost the sound.
They didn't ask me to use this thing, so.
Okay, just hold on. Hi, Lisa, can you hear me? Hi, Lisa. Okay, so we keep having a bit of challenges with the connection there, but she's definitely rejoining. Brian, content being stolen.
Found that a situation once where our article was, stolen and used on a certain website. We could, with the change of certain words here and there, but we could tell from the structure of the article that it belonged to us. I think that's one thing that motivated us to engage a lawyer to protect our content, because at that time we were very, 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 very small. The people that took the content were a very big block, so it gained more traction there than from us.
Great. So for you, how do you verify your content? Have you ever run with a story and then it turned out not to be really true? Do you run with anything that you see online? If somebody posts something and then you quickly post it and also share it, how do you treat such situations?
No, everything that we post, we verify first and make sure it is true, especially when it's coming from social platforms. We know who tend to wake up and write anything that they want. So it's misleading most of the times. So if it's on artists that we have contacts with, we make sure we call in and verify the story first before publishing anything.
Oh, great. So verification is key. For me, it's it's actually the same experience. And I think one of my biggest struggle, I work with a team, and we always try to verify. But I think one of the biggest challenges that I've faced is, because I've lived here in Germany for the past 4.5 years, is there are things that happen back home, because much of our content is Zimbabwe, and then you struggle to verify, but we have kept a policy to say, look, what holds us and the integrity and the value that we have with people that are following our platform is the ability to verify, to give credible information. And if you give information that is not credible, and then your integrity is gone, and when it's gone, it's not going to be easy to recover it. So we always try to verify, and we've actually made it one of our key pillars to say, look, let's be that source that people go to when they want to hear something about that is happening in the creative arts, has happened or is happening, as the most credible source. And if we run with something that is false or fake news, then we're going to create a big challenge, defamation of character. We're going to get into legal challenges, but also the biggest challenge that comes with that is failure to retain the integrity and the value that you had from both your clients, people that are giving you business, and also people that are following. So Tandi's back. Hi, Tandi. Hi, can you hear us?
Hi. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, I think it's now
I'm so
better
sorry
now.
about the network. I'm not sure what's going on with my
No,
network.
it's fine.
Yeah,
No, it's fine.
I can hear you.
Great. I don't know if this one applies to you as well, but we're talking about verification. Like, do you run with anything that you see online? How do you verify material or information that you have at hand?
I'm sorry, I think, how do I?
Like, do you have steps or mechanisms to verify information or content that you find, say, online or elsewhere, before posting or putting it up?
So I think that one applies mostly to Brian, but in my case, if I am imparting knowledge, if it's usually stuff that I've seen work for me, so it's usually more of a personal experience thing in terms of, if you're going to be shooting content with this iPhone, use these settings, and it's stuff that I've done. So I wouldn't just be like, go use portrait mode and
Yes.
so in my case, it's usually stuff that I've seen work for me. But yeah.
And interestingly, more closer to the work that you do, are there any particular skills or particular styles or ways that you have to capture your content? I see you blog a lot on Instagram. Is there a thought to every picture that you take? You know what, I want to make this particular pose and it's going to express this, or it's just random?
So sometimes there is, and sometimes there isn't. Sometimes it's just, oh wow, that was a nice picture. Let me just put it out there. But I do have a pattern in terms of posting. I think most people by now know that I alternate my pictures. So you'll find it's a picture of me, then it's a picture of a flat lay or something that's not me. And then you'll find then it's me again. So there's a pattern of some sort, and then but in most cases I really do put some thought into it. So for example, in terms of the edits of the picture, right, the location of the picture, the lighting, everything, just I personally do pay attention to those things, which, because ultimately they that's what the quality is about. So I know, for example, I'm not a fan of dark spaces. I usually prefer my backgrounds white and bright and airy and stuff like that. So there's definitely a thought process that does go into giving out content on my part. And then also just in terms of equipment. So at first when I started, it was just, I realized that I had so many pictures on my phone and they were only just being seen by me. And I was just like, no, man, these are nice. People need to see this as well. I can't be the only one just going all the time, And so I went and did a bit of research and saw how people edit pictures. Because I mean, before I got into this thing, it was just, oh, this is a nice picture, let's just throw it on the, I didn't care how my feed looked. I was not bothered. And then I think it was 2019. I was just like, no, man, these pictures are good, but I can't just, bombard people with all these pictures. Let's find a nice way of giving them out to people. And yeah, I think that's in terms of the content that I had then. I had so much content. I had content for like the rest of the year that could spend like 6 months, right? And then after that, when the content finished, I was like, okay, now I need to be more intentional, right? So now it's maybe we can go to a restaurant, eat, and then while eating, then we can be like, oh, okay, let's take a picture. But I was trying to run away from the idea of let me go to a restaurant to take a picture and not actually enjoy the moment or live in the moment, and which is also what I'm still trying to do now. Take pictures of experiences. Experience first and then take pictures, as opposed to go somewhere just to take pictures. So I think there is a thought process and a few skills that one might need to acquire
But is there a personality difference from the person that you're projecting online and the real Thandi?
I don't think there's much. If anything, I usually tell people who meet me online and be like, oh my gosh, you look so cool. Can we be friends? And or oh my goodness, you must teach me how to do my makeup. Like, things that for me, I'm just like, but half the time I look like bread. I only do my face and stuff like that so that I can come meet people or come because I'm a brand. The fact that when you think Thandi, you think aesthetics, beauty, and I can't just come to you guys and I don't have eyebrows or whatever. So there is a difference in terms of I have to maintain the brand. There are some things or some conversations that I would not be part of on Twitter simply because of my brand and my personality. So while you have to balance being authentic but there are certain aspects of your life where you don't want to compromise and to have people have mixed feelings or emotions or ideas about your take on certain things. So for example, there are certain aspects of my personal life that I wouldn't just put out there. But yeah, I think also now I'm trying to show. I think on Instagram you can hardly put a personality to pictures, right? So it's just pictures, and sharp, we done. So now I am trying to put a personality to the pictures. So I started my YouTube channel again. So I had started it like I think 2 years back, and then I was just like, this is not for me. But now I am trying to get back into that space so that even with the content that I put out, you're like, oh yeah, that's Thandi. Whether you've heard me speak, whether you've seen me or whatever, but there must be a consistent personality throughout. So I don't think there's much of a difference between the IG Thandi and the me Thandi.
Great. Before I go to Brian, I have a follow-up question. As a woman who's blogging and blogging a lot on Instagram, which involves a lot of pictures and you presenting yourself in different spaces and different attires, how do you ever encounter any objectification based on your appearances, and how do you deal with that when, say, maybe specifically guys are responding or commenting in a way? I know we've talked about trolling, but being objectified, is this something that you've experienced?
I don't think too explicitly, but there are instances where I've had to go delete comments because I'm like, this doesn't sit too well with me, and I think as a person, I grew up as a conservative, so there's only so much that I could put out, you know. So I think and I think for most people this has worked. The block button works wonders, especially on Instagram. You know, you block a person, you won't even remember anything. So I think for me, what has worked is blocking people. I think I really use that button a lot. But yeah, also just if something doesn't make you feel comfortable, delete it. We do have the liberty of deleting. So yeah, I think that's what's worked for me.
Okay, no, my mic is off. Okay, it's been awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate. I would have wanted us to continue, but maybe we need to do another day where we talk about more stuff. But Brian, what is your word to somebody who's contemplating becoming a blogger right now? The last word.
May I advise them to for it, and while at it, try to be different from everyone else. Find something that you are passionate about and copying going on out there. You know, things go out the same, and it's because of laziness to explore. There are a lot of topics to cover about it. I think people need to find their footing and then go for it. People will appreciate you in that way.
Great, great. I would ask the same to Thandi.
Okay, I've got a bit of a mouthful on this, but first and foremost, just get started. I think for most people, especially in Zim, people do have the no, I can't do this because I'm in Zim. You've just got so many excuses, but get started. Whether your phone, your camera is not working or whatever, but just get started, right? And trust me, you will, when your time comes, which it will, when your time comes, you will reap the benefits of starting. And also enjoy what you do. Don't do it for people, don't do it for money. Enjoy what you do first and foremost. When you see your content, how does it make you feel, you know? So that by the time it comes to us, you've had that you expect us to have. And then also find your differentiating factor. You know, there's so many Instagrammers, there's so many bloggers, there's so many vloggers, there's so many people doing what you want to do, but what sets you apart from everyone else, right? Is it the quality of your pictures? Is it your wording when you're writing on WordPress or whatever? Is it your views? You know, so find that one thing that makes you different and go all out. So I think, yeah, but get started.
Wow, great. Find that one thing that makes you different and get started. Those are the words that are coming from Thandi. Thank you so much, Brian. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to Gilmore T for coordinating and facilitating and making this possible. Really appreciate Paper Big Africa and the whole crew behind the MON project, and also British Council for the support. I think my words to any young or prospective or potential blogger is that, you know, be real, be informed about whatever subject that you want to blog about. If it's just going to be even fashion or travel or anything, and there are millions of different subjects that the world has not had, and you need to find your own niche. Try not to copy. Learn. When you learn something, create your own style, create your own approach. And the digital world, this is where the money is. This is where the economy is going. So utilize your phones. Don't worry about getting the best state-of-the-art equipment to be able to blog. Just get that dollar airtime and use it effectively, and you never know. And remember, whatever you put on the digital platforms, it lasts, it's stored somewhere. So someday you may wake up and say, oh, I posted this, but I didn't want this, but then those are some of the things that build your image and your brand. So yes, to those that are watching from Earground YouTube, thank you so much. Earground on Facebook, and those that are watching from my platform, my own account, Plot Marco, and also those watching from Paper Big Africa, we value you so much, and thank you so much for making this super awesome. The engagement, we're not able to read most of the comments, but we're watching, we're seeing you. Sistobo, thank you so much. Gerald Muchandi Warner, thank you so much for tuning in. And Mtabisi, thank you. Gilmore, I see you. Tandibala, one of my favorite artists, thank you so much for the support and tuning in. Who else is watching? Nogtaba Noxi, thank you so much also for the feedback and the comments that we're giving. Mazisi, Nigel Ncube, thank you so much as well. Walter and Amanda Lindy Wedube, thank you so much, guys, for watching. Until next time, Earground is the platform.